Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Sorry, Shane, I cut you off in mid-sentence there, but do
Oh no, it's
apologise.
just about the copyright thing. I thought you were saying that the video was getting done before. It got done one week and then it didn't happen the next week. I was just wondering if you were still getting What were they saying? It was a Portsmouth Southampton game or something was on the video.
It's weird YouTube. I mean, I had that intro for 2.5 months, nothing. They then said it's copyright, and I deleted the intro, and since then nothing. It's YouTube, man. They're mad.
Mad, isn't it?
Crazy. They're mad crazy, buddy. But how you doing, my friend?
All good, all good. Can't complain. Had a good day today. Nice relaxing day. Um, and yeah, just being a good old day. And I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to a real stream and to getting down to business with yourself. And big up to the chat and big up to yourself, of course. Always a pleasure coming on.
Yeah, big up chat as always. Always the real ones. Post your questions in as we get through this, because I just thought we'd do this and talk about this, because I know it's pre-season, Shane, right? I know it's pre-season, and I never put a lot on it, right? To be honest, because well, no, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. I never put a lot on it when the managers try new things out. But Shane, this manager's not trying anything new out. It's the same shit we see last season. Now, people, I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, it's only Spurs. It's only Spurs, right? Our biggest tribal enemy,
Mm.
but it's only Spurs." Now, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't accept that, because big up Mad Max, man. I can't accept that at all, because at the end of the day, it is Spurs, right? Now, they may not be our biggest rivals in contest, but they just beat us 1-0 when we only had one shot on goal, with a striker, our new striker, that came on for 15 minutes. Now, that says to me a lot of things. If you've got a new striker under any other manager, surely you'd want to start him, wouldn't you? I know it's pre-season, it's a
Mm.
friendly, supposedly, but surely you want to start him, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, a normal manager would. A normal manager would. And I'm with you with the Tottenham thing. I mean, I'm not from North London, but obviously, as an Arsenal fan, you know what it means to the fans that the players should have been up for it no matter what. And if he can sit around and all the fans that are saying, "Oh, it's just a friendly, relax," but he was losing the plot on the sideline because he wanted to win. He just couldn't figure out how to do it. But of course, you saw it. You start your striker, you give him more than 17 minutes, Jez. You give him more than 17 minutes. But the reason is, he never wanted this guy. He never wanted him. He wanted Sesko. And we know what he's like as a man. He'll he'll cut off his nose to spite his face. And if that means giving this guy as little minutes as possible in preseason, just so he can start Havertz on the first day and say, well, he didn't get enough preseason, so I can't start him. And he'll start Havertz against United, and he'll pray that Havertz scores. So then for the next game, he can say, well, I can't drop him now. He scored, and Victor has to work his way into the team like everybody else and all that sort of stuff. But people that put up for him, I think, are starting to see the way his mind works. They've all sort of got this idea now. There's no way that he will start Havertz on the first day of the season. But the people that can see through him go, maybe he won't. But if I was to have to put a bet right now on who will start, if I had to put my house on it, I'd go, he'll start Havertz on the first day of the season, because that's his guy. But even when Gyökeres came on, he got close to 20 minutes. He got 17 minutes all told. He had 2 touches, Jess, 2 touches of the ball. And this is going to happen all season, because the system doesn't suit him. And he won't change the system. He just forces players into a system that he's created, a really mundane, slow, defensive system, I might add. And he'll just squeeze him in and just expect him to do what Havertz does. And there's no point. What is the point in signing a Rolls Royce finisher if you're just going to make him a workhorse or a target man? There's absolutely no point. It would have been like when George Graham signed Ian Wright and just telling him to do what Alan Smith does. It wouldn't have worked, because Ian Wright was a different type of forward. So he changed it. He changed the whole system to make sure that Ian Wright scores, and then we'll lock up. It wasn't great to watch, but if we ever won 1-0, 90% of the time when you check the score on teletext, it was Ian Wright. You know what I mean? But that's the way he did it. But this won't work with this guy. George Graham was a proper manager, there, you see. Arsene Wenger was a proper manager. If he got a player like Henry, he wasn't the same as Anelka. He liked to drop out left. So he changed the tactics to suit to suit your best attacking player. This manager won't do it. So Gyökeres he'll have people on his back because the goals won't come as easily as they did in Portugal. He'll get frustrated with the manager. I can see him making run after run and the ball not being released, like Odegaard, who'll take 2 or 3 extra touches. But for me, yeah, look, I get not starting him when he's only arrived 2 days before with the traveling and all that, but give him more than 17 minutes. I wonder if the next one will be at the Emirates now against Villarreal. That would be more interesting now to see if he starts him. If he does start him, he'll only get a half, and then he'll bring Havertz on for the second half. He'll get a full half, but I really don't see him starting on the first game of the season, and I think this could be the thing that pushes Arteta to really lose it, because he never wanted this guy, and even the fans that put up for him will get to see the real Arteta after this signing, I think.
I think, yeah, that's a fair comment, man. David Carroll, quite right, mate. Gyökeres has to start against United. You know, we need to change it up here, because, you know, I talked last night with Views on Sport. Good show that was.
Yeah.
This guy this manager has got no plan B. I mean, he's hardly got a plan A, let alone a plan B. And it's the same old shit, sideways, backwards, boring football. Now, we can't keep doing this because other teams are building. Liverpool, again, they're in for Isaac, right? They're putting a second bid in. We know that's going to go through eventually in the next 2 weeks. And the fact is that we can't just sit here like sitting on our hands, because at the end of the day, we still need more troops in. You know, Eze, what are we pissing about there for? He'll come to Arsenal if you offer the money. But apparently, Shane, we don't want to pay his buyout clause. Now, I find that fascinating in the fact that if you want the player, just get it done. But we do this, Shane, all the sodding time. Right? We know what we need. We know we need another bit of strength on that right wing. But we just don't do it, mate. I mean, it's frustrating. Don't you find, as an Arsenal fan, it is so bloody frustrating? It is just annoying, because at the end of the day, we can do it. The money's there. But we can balance the books if we get a few players out that we should do. But we're not doing it. And it just winds me up, man. I don't know how you feel about it. I know people in the chat are pissed off about it. You know, because
yeah. Well, what gets to me most about it is that the players he clearly wanted got done straight away. Norgard, Madueke, Kepa, all these guys that he needed. But what really gets to me is that he's been handed 6 new players, and he still needs 3 or 4 more just to bring us up to scratch. How is he let it get to this? How is he not being held accountable for having 6 years at the club and nearly $1 billion spent, and the squad is absolutely down to the bare bones? And the backup we do have are players that couldn't cut it when he spent big money on them. The Sambi, the Congas of this world that will never, ever get back in the team again, that were absolute flops. The players we've had to let go for free, the players that we're going to have to let go at massive losses because he's either ruined them with injury or they've just been terrible signings that have been found out, like Jesus, players like that. Tomiyasu, we had to rip up his contract. He's let our only left back go for free. We have a midfielder who's 18 and not a left back as our starting left back, a centre back who's a terrible centre back, or even worse left back, and who will probably never be fit again in Calafiori as the backup left back. There's talk now that we can't sell Zinchenko, another midfielder who's a failed left back, because he needs to be back up for left back. And the left wing is an absolute ribbons. And he has had 6 new players handed to him. It boggles the mind that, you know, I've likened it, Jez, to, you know, if you were a big construction firm and someone in America said, oh, we want to build the biggest, you know, office block in downtown Manhattan. You're the best in the business. We're going to give you 15 million a year. Oh, yeah. And then, like, he promised Willian will win the Champions League in 3 years. So he would promise them he'd have it built in 3 years. And they come back 3 years later and go, well, where's the building? Oh, I haven't really started. I need more money. I need more money. Come back another 3 years later and it's rubble again because it has to be a rebuild. You'd never work again. You'd never work again. And this guy not only gets away with it, he has people praising him, and a lot of people praising him. And not just the Arteta fans. There's people in the media praising him like he's done a good job. You and me have both said it. in our lifetime, and you've seen more managers than me. But he's the worst manager we've ever had. And people can't think you're just being outrageous when you say that, but it's not as true. When you add in all, he's spent more money than every previous Arsenal manager in history combined. All of them combined, he spent more money than them. And we are in an absolute shambles. There's no way we're winning the league next season. And what really got to most people about that friendly was, and all the other guys are saying, oh, it's so funny the way these bottom Gooners are reacting over one pre-season friendly loss. It wasn't the loss. It was the way we played. Nothing has changed. It's the exact same system that didn't work last season, that drew 14 games or however much it was, that threw away 12 leads, that, it's the exact same system. And he's just going to try and squeeze Gyökeres into it. So, to have all these players handed to him, and then people saying, oh, get me Gyökeres and we'll win the league. They get Gyökeres. Oh, no, now we need Eze. Get Eze and we win the league. And if we get Eze, they'll say, well, get Rodrigo and we win the league. How can he need all these players? It's a disgrace. And you look at Liverpool, people saying, oh, they're buying the league. When they get Isak, their spending will go high. But at the moment, even with Ekitike and Wirtz and Frimpong and Kirkes, their net spend is less than ours this summer. We've spent more than them. Not more money, but we haven't made any profit. They've made profit. So this guy, man, he's been getting away with murder for far too long. But, this is the season of reckoning for him. He will be found out. And his transfers will be found out because from what I can sort of, in my opinion, 1 in 5, I think, 1 in 5 transfers of his has worked out. So if you're to do it by odds, that means one of these will work out, maybe 2 at best. And that's not near good enough. It's not near good enough, Jess.
No, I think this is a great comment here from SG. This sums the whole thing up, really, for me. It was no problem signing Maduka for 52 million quid for a crap player.
Yeah.
But quality players like Eze, Arsenal are haggling the deal, makes sense. Now, I think that's a great comment because this is what we do. I don't want Maduka. I think he's shit, to be honest.
No, he's awful.
But at the end of the day, we do these deals with Chelsea. God knows why. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And all we do is buy. I can't really think of a great player we bought from Chelsea. Probably Asian. What's his name? The goalkeeper. Forgot his name. That's not that. That shows our memorial.
Peter Cech.
But apart from that, the rest of them are a pile of crap.
Yep.
But let's get into this, right? Let's get into this. I mean, I'll start a couple of comments that I think are quite pertinent. 01 Zincheno, Jez, Akanji or Gabriel? Well, I like Gabriel. What about you?
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, Gabriel's a much better player.
Yeah, I think he's class. Joseph said, big up Jez and Shane. What's going on with Martinelli? He runs into people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on there. He's burnt, if you ask me.
Yeah.
To me, I like Martinelli. I really, really do. But to be honest with you, for the betterment of his career, I'd say get him out the door. Let him go somewhere else. And then we'll see what he's really about because he's not working under this manager. Which I think is a great shame. I think it's a great shame. When we first had him under Emery, he was class. He was quality. He was banging goals in. Now, not at all. It's absolute bullshit. But let's get into this show. Having watched, I know it's only pre-season, people. I know before everybody jumps in it, right? I've not been impressed. And I certainly wasn't impressed the other day against Spurs, right? Now, I want all your comments in the chat about this, and Shane and I will answer them, right? Do you think, Shane, seriously, 2 questions here to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we will win a major, Premier League, Champions League? Do you think we'll win a domestic trophy, FA Cup or the League Cup? I don't think we'll win anything, personally.
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. I don't think there's a hope, really. The league is there's not a chance. I still have us finishing outside the top 4, and I'm gonna stand by it. I think this manager has lost the dressing room. I think the signings have been terrible, bar one, and even the one that we've got won't be used properly. Liverpool has strengthened, Chelsea has strengthened, City have strengthened. I did think Newcastle will finish ahead of us. I need to see them moving in the transfer market, but I think Villa will be up and around there. They have no Champions League. So they can sort of rest for the Europa League. Their squad's good enough. They'll make a couple of signs. I can see them coming back and battling for fourth again. And then there's always one team that comes out of nowhere that will cause problems. It could be a Brighton, or it could be a Forest again, or someone like that. Champions League, definitely not. Like I said, the same goes for Liverpool have strengthened, Chelsea have strengthened, City have strengthened, so they'll all be in it. PSG are the best team in the world at the moment. Barcelona are up there. I don't see us getting past the quarterfinals. And the two cups, we both know he bins them off. So, you know, he bins the cups off. So you may as well just write them off. And anything that involves a semi-final, Jez, he won't get past. There's kryptonite. The only semi-final he got past was when he had Aubameyang in the team, a player who can take the ball and say, screw your tactics, I'm going to do this on my own, which he did in the semis and in the final, by the way. So semi-finals, we've had one goal in the last 7 semi-final matches. One single goal. That shows that this guy cannot handle pressure. And then next season, as Kenny Ken put it, every match in the league from the first game away to United is like a cup final. So we'll see this guy under pressure again. And I think that David Raya struggles under pressure. And when your keeper struggles under pressure, you're really done. So if the manager's under pressure and the keeper's under pressure, all the new signings, the terrible tactics, I think we'll be out of the league end of September. I think after 7-8 games, we're going to be out of the league. Because I think we're going to slip up against United, albeit be it a draw or a loss. We might beat Leeds. Liverpool will beat us at Anfield. Then we have City and Newcastle in the next 3 games. If we were to lose 3 of them, and City and Liverpool come out of the blocks and win 7 or 8 of their first 8 games, we're already out of it. We ain't catching them. So I think not obviously we'll still be in with a shout where people will go, we're only 8 points behind, we can catch them and all that sort of stuff. But I think we'll be well out of it. And then when the pressure grows, I think he's done. You know what I mean? So I don't think we'll win anything. I don't think we have it in us. We don't have the squad, and we certainly don't have the manager. So no, I have us down to win absolutely nothing next season.
Totally agree with you, mate. Totally agree with you. I'm just going to answer this question here, man. You're Asante Poco. Jez, keep eye contact with Shane. Mate, start your own YouTube channel. Shane will tell you as well. When we're on a stream, we're talking to the guest and we're looking at the chat. So it's not always easy to keep eye contact. Am I wrong, Shane?
No, you have to keep looking down. You have to keep checking what's coming in. You have to highlight things. That's the way it works, man.
So go off and support your own. Go and set up your own YouTube channel, and give it a go, mate, and see how good you are at it. Because it ain't easy, to be fair. But
no.
You know what I mean? Jez, you and Kenny Norman's Shane are going to be eyeing up the market opportunities in Sevilla. Don't know what you're talking about, mate, but yeah, that's a separate issue. But look, mate, I totally agree. At the end of the day, right? You said September out of the Premier League, right? I'm thinking not far off that. Yeah, we've got a tough start, and we know how this manager's going to start the games. I reckon we could be way behind in October. Now, my point is this, right? If we're way out, let's say hypothetically we're 6 points back, right? Now 6 points, as you know, is very difficult to catch up in this modern Premier League, right? Especially the way Man City, Liverpool are going. Because if Liverpool get Isaac, got to help us. And Man City have bought in, they've got 2 starting 11s. Let's get it right. Yeah. Right? So Tottenham, they're buying players in. That could be an issue as well after their win in Europe. So I am not right now confident of what this manager is going to do to actually get us into that big race, because I think it's going to be a very difficult season this year. I think there's going to be a few other teams who, Shane, are going to be a surprise. Last year we had Nottingham Forest knocking on the door around the top 4. I don't think they will this year.
No.
But I wouldn't be at all surprised to see another coming in, knocking on the door. And we've got to be aware of that. Now, the problem I see it as is with this manager, he's just not aware. He's so blinkered, right? He so goes down one road. And this is what I said last night when I was chatting with Views on Sport, is the fact that he has no plan B. It's the same old, same old, same old. And it's madness, man. Arteta isn't a fool. I mean, really? The guy's a clown, man. What are you seeing that's different to us? Please tell me, because I'd love to know what I'm missing here. But Tanjay says, I think you lot will win a domestic trophy at least if Arteta has common sense and cares about the cups. He doesn't, though, mate. He doesn't. He bins them in the bin. It's fact. We've seen it. The FA Cup. We haven't got past the fourth round of the FA Cup since he won the FA Cup. You know what I'm saying? So that's how much credit he gives the FA Cup. And I'm shocked. I'm sorry, but I personally think my prediction is we'll be out of the running in October in the Premier League, because there's teams going to be chasing us down big time. He's not going to play the team he should play, because we know, Shane, he doesn't want Grokeres, right? He wanted Sesko. And to me, he will do what he will do, and that is he will start Havertz again. Grokeres will be a bit part, right? Or he won't play him in the position he should play, in the 9, in my opinion. But we're going to have one hell of a rocky season. I honestly believe. I think we're going to struggle in the Champions League this season. I honestly do. And it's going to be another season of failure. Now, Shane, question. Do you think, right? And this is a big question, mate. I mean, it's a hard one to answer. It's a hard one to answer, right? We all know at Christmas, January, Arsenal go for a little rocky stream, don't we? We've done it under Wenger. We've done it under far better managers than this clown. But if we're capitulating, right, after Christmas, January time, Champions League's coming up, right, and we've got the FA Cup coming up, and we're in shit in the league, do you think it's time for him to bin it? Time to go? Get somebody in, try and rescue
try and rescue the season. My thing is that when I'm telling people that we'll finish outside the top 4, that is only if he's in charge come Crystal Palace on the last day of the season, if he's still in charge. If he was to get sacked at Christmas or even mid-January, even to late January, and we got in a competent winning manager, then the cups are back on for me and top 4 is back on. We could probably scrape 4th then, because I think he'd have to be 6 points off 4th, I think, to get sacked, I think, at Christmas, which it could be, by the way, because Chelsea are going to come out of the blocks. And like you said, being 6 points behind in this league is tough. It's even tougher, Jez, when you're chasing 2 or 3 teams. You know what I mean? Because when you're chasing one team, they can slip up and then you can catch them. But if you're chasing 2 teams, the odds of them both slipping up are slim. So even when one slips up and you gain and the other one's still pulling ahead of you, and the morale goes down. So if we were to get a new manager in, you know, everything's back on, because there's players there that will be unlocked by I don't even like using that term, but I often say this, and I'm repeating myself. If a new manager came in, a good manager, a Hansi Flick or a Mancini or someone like that, they'd look at our midfield and go, wow. Where I look at our midfield now and go, it's so weak, it's so cardboard. But they'd look at it and go, okay, well, you have Norgard and Royce there, they can play together. And then you have Lewis Skelly, you have Wanyeri. I wouldn't even think about Odegaard, but you have 2 of the most exciting young players we've had in a long time as midfielders. Instead, he has Wanyeri as a backup winger who he doesn't trust, and he has Lewis Skelly as a left back where he can't play. He's going to get found out next season. So suddenly a new manager with fresh ideas looks at that midfield and goes, I have a stacked midfield here. I have experienced players, and I have 2 of the most exciting young midfielders. I can rotate them in and out. I'd be starting Wanyeri a lot of games. That guy's our most exciting player to me. All this Max Dowman talk, fine. He showed a few glimpses. But Wanyeri's done it against the big boys. He's done it against professional players. Every time he plays, he does something. Every single time that kid plays, he does something. So a new manager will come in and go, right, you're starting a lot more games. Odegaard, you're going to have to fight for your place, mate. I'm sorry. You know, I think the captaincy is weighing you down. I'm going to give it to either Gabriel or Rice, one of them. I'm going to rest you for a while. You come back, you can fight for your place again, and maybe it'll work. Maybe because I've heard you say this before, and I'm fully with you. I completely agree that the captaincy's weighing that guy down. I think it would do him good to take it off him. I think it would do him really good to take it off. You could even go public and say, look, we can tell them that you decided to do it, that you felt that you weren't doing it right, whatever way you want to angle it to protect yourself, or just come in and be the manager and say, look, I'm taking it off him. I think he's more suited to earning his way back into the team, whatever way it may be. But getting this guy out at Christmas would still give us a chance of saving our season, I feel. But it will have to be an absolutely diabolical start for that to happen. And we've seen this guy right at the last moment pull it out of the fire, normally through potluck, i.e. putting, Emil Smith-Rowe and Saka into the starting lineup, and they saved the job the first time. He got the feel-good factor back. Last season, when Wanyeri got the feel-good factor back, and Lewis Skelly, he seems to stumble into ways to save himself. Most sort of snides, Jez, in life, most snidey people in life, they always have a way of worming their way out of it, right, when the pressure's coming on, So I just think he's running out of ways out now. When you look at Heinz are coming in and a couple of the board members are gone, they're picking away his support system. And when he's under pressure, he can't handle it. So I think we can only hope that he's gone by then, but we might just have to see out the season, and then they'll let him go then. But it won't cost as much to sack him at Christmas. So I think if we are doing absolutely terrible, they'll pull the trigger. And if they do, and we get in a Mancini or a Simeone or something like that, a cup will be back on, and top four will be back on. But a lot of things have to go a certain way for it to work out that way. But I just want him gone, Jez. I just can't do another full season. That's definitely not another season after this one with him in charge. He's taken away my hope, and I can't forgive him for that.
True. That's a fair comment, mate. Joanne J, I've starred your comment about the Irish, my favourite Irish EPL player. I'll come back to that at the end, my friend. Yours says, why are everyone writing off City? They've got Shirkey, Ayatollah, Renders, and James Trafford. I'm not writing them off, mate.
No, it's them and Liverpool.
Yeah. I think they're going to be a real problem. They had a shit season last year, let's be honest, and they're not going to have a shit season this season.
No,
that's not in their club, mate, is it? Let's be fair. But hey, there we go. Now, I think the problem we're going to have here right now is the integration of whether Arteta will bring Gyökeres into that real position. I don't believe it. I don't right now. Right, Maduka will be in his favourite firing line. I'm worried about that. And we've got to, Shane, dear God, come on, man. We've got to knock this out of Ray's bollocks of standard. Oh. We've got to stop that, man. We all said it. He's going to get lobbed at some point. And Sarr did it. Yeah, I mean, it was a great strike. You can't deny it. But at the end of the day, we can't afford that. It's no good taking that kick and then sitting there, just standing and admiring it. Oh, that was great, that one. And then getting caught out. Skelly got, naivety there, in my opinion. And then we paid the price. Now, in that game, we were crap. Let's get it right. Now, we are not. If you look at that performance, yes, it's pre-season. But I'm sorry to say it, Spurs were a far better team than us. Hit the post 4 times.
Yeah.
We had one shot on target.
Yep.
That's not acceptable, mate. It's not acceptable. Even though it's pre-season, it's not acceptable. And we're now going into the game at the Emirates next week. There's got to be some changes here, because I talked last night with views. Why will this manager never change the formation? Now, for me, I said last night, I would go 4-4-2, personally. Give me your opinion of what. I mean, it doesn't have to be 4-4-2, of course. Give me your opinion of what you would do if you're the manager right now. Yeah, thinking about after what happened the other night or the other day. surely, Shane, you'd be thinking, well, that formation didn't work. That 4-3-3, we've got to change it up. Because the reason I say that, mate, we get overrun in midfield way too many times.
Yeah.
And I think it's time to change it up. But please, give me your view.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Jez, we know that that's what we do. We know that that's what another manager would do. But we also know that he won't, right? And this the way I'll put it is, me and Views and me and Rashid and a few other people last season, we did like a pre-match, during the league or during the cup. You'd go on for half an hour before the match. And what do we think the lineup would be? But we got to the point where we were doing two lineups, one of what we should do and one of what we knew Arteta would do. And the one where we said what we knew what Arteta would do was right just about every single time. Same players, same formation, same. He's so predictable. So he won't change that formation for a couple of reasons. The main one being because he's so stubborn, because he is so stubborn. What I would do if he does want the one up front is all he has to do is just drop Rice back into a double pivot. Just drop him beside. I mean, it served us well for time. Vieira and Petit, Vieira and Gilberto. If you go, I'll stay. If I go, you stay. That's what the way in midfield should be. Paul Ince and Roy Keane. If you go, I'll stay. Paul Ince and Scholes, Roy Keane and Scholes. When sometimes Scholes would stay deep and Roy Keane would go, and more often than not it would be Scholes going, but there was always one that would stay. Then you can still have your 10. You can go for 4-4-2. Then you can stick Havertz up front with Gyökeres if you want, and let Havertz drop into the 10. Because even if you look at the Arsene Wenger teams with Bergkamp, it was down as 4-4-2, but essentially it was a 4-2-3-1 because Bergkamp would drop in. He'd drop into the 10 into the hole. But what he does then is he has a 9 who drops into midfield, and he has a 10 that drops into midfield, and then he has Rice out of position in the 8. And you know what the funny thing is? But just on that Raya goal, I mean, that was coming. We all knew it was coming. It happened last season against Palace. He didn't get lobbed, but he just had to slot it in. But what he does is he goes, right, when the goalkeeper has the ball, he wants his left back to go into midfield next to the defensive midfielder. And then it goes, okay, well, then left back is empty. So the keeper moves out to left back. Raya goes out to left back when he has the ball. So there's no one in goals because he wants 2 people in the middle. So he has 3 people out of position when all he has to do is say, when Raya gets the ball, the Zubamendi's there, which would have been Partey last season. All you have to do is make Rice just drop back. Just let Rice drop back and you have 2 in midfield. That way you still have your left back and the keeper stays where he is. But that is all too simple. That is all too simple for this manager. So he has to go, right, well, I need my keeper at left back. I need my left back in midfield. I need my holding midfielder up in the 8. And he has to just move it around. If he just drops Rice back beside Zubamendi, and the thing is, next season, he'll line up with the same thing. He'll have the 4 at the back. He'll have Zubamendi in the 6, and then up the two midfielders will be Odegaard and Rice. So that means Rice is out of position as well, right? But Rice is going to have to do so much running to cover for Zubamendi that he's pretty much going to play beside him anyway. But then he'd have to get forward again. And it just makes no sense. His formations are built around keeping certain players in the team, i.e. Odegaard, Havertz. It'd be Zubamendi this season. He'll play every game. If he can walk, he'll play. Then he wants the right backs inverting and he wants the left backs inverting. The simplest thing to do is just drop Rice into a double pivot, have one number 10, because Odegaard is restricted out. He has to stay out the right next to Saka. And your number 10 should be allowed to go wherever he wants. That's the whole point of having a number 10. That's what Bergkamp could do. Bergkamp could go anywhere he felt he needed.
Shane's frozen there for a minute. Big up, Richard, man, from Texas. Shane will be back in a seckie, I'm sure. But I think we're heading into a dark road here right now. I really do. Big up Terry, man. Frank is a proper manager. Tinker tactics on the fly, knew exactly how Arteta will play. Everybody does, mate. It's so boringly predictable. That's the problem here. Everybody can just see it and know what he's going to do. And it's just, that's the problem we have. We saw it last season. Teams outplayed us because at the end of the day, 1-0 up, they'd make a change, they'd make a tactical change, and then they'd take us over. And it's going to be the same shit this year because the guy is so arrogant, right? So arrogant in what he wants to do. And big up Edwin. Managers have to keep evolving because when you play the same way for season after season, That's hours of tape for the other teams to analyse. Exactly. Look, if we can understand it, right, and I'm not making myself out to be a tactician, then he has to. But he's not evolving. That's the thing. The best managers evolve their style. Arteta hasn't moved. Exactly, mate. Very well said. It's a shit show. Big up, down, man. Busy. Sorry, mate. Big up, just saw your message. Busy with work today. Thanks for the invite. No worries, man. Another time. Another time. Wouldn't mind 4141, Jez. Well, yeah. Why not? Why not give it a go? Let's see. Jez just gives us a wave. That's an old song, isn't it? At the at grounds. Yeah, that's an old song. 4411 and wary behind Vic 14. Yeah, why not? Let's get Shane back in, man. Sorry, you dropped out there, mate. Beg your pardon. If you want to finish,
link it to my phone. Sorry. But yeah, sorry. As I was saying with the formation, just drop Rice back, and that was it. That would free up everything. But we know, Jez, like I said, we have to come up with one formation that we would use and a team that we would pick. But then you just have to go, well, I know what Arteta's going to do. And then I'll finish on this. The funny thing is if we know exactly what Arteta's going to do, every team he plays, then their managers know what he's going to do. He's the most predictable manager in the world. I heard someone say the other day, "Oh, Thomas Frank has Arteta's number." You know, after the Spurs game, Thomas Frank has his number, and I said, "I'm tired of hearing that because I always hear that Graham Potter has his number, Iriola has his number, Emery has his number, Amarin has his number. Every manager has his number. You know what I mean? Because he's predictable. And next season is going to be even worse. You know, we had that when we played Forest last season, and they had gone with 5 at the back the week before, and they went with 4 at the back, and they asked Nuno, their manager, at the end. They said, "How come you went with 4 today?" And he just went, "They don't have a striker." You know what I mean? So we're just a laughing stock, and the you know, with Lewis Skelly coming into midfield and getting cut out, it's just going to be a disaster next season. But there's so many little tweaks he could do that would fix it, and he won't. And the main one will be, we'll have Gyökeres, this striker he's not world class. He's very, very, very good, and he was the best that was available, and we got him. But he's going to be wasted. He's going to be absolutely wasted next season. He'll still get goals. He'll still score 18 maybe in the league if he has a really good season, but he's not going to bang the way people think he is. And I think of those 18, he'll probably get a hat-trick here and there against the Burnley or something like that at home. And then there'll be 4 or 5 games without goals and he'll get frustrated. But there's so many things. If a new manager came in, like I said, he'd go, okay, well, now I can do this and I'll build a team to feed Gyökeres and everything would change. But under this guy and his stubbornness, I think we can pick the team. We could basically pick the team for Old Trafford. We might be one player out, but if we knew who was fit, we'd pick the team, and that means Amarin can pick the team. I'm thinking the United's team, I'm thinking there'll be 2 or 3 surprises that I won't expect. But with our team, it's guaranteed. Even with 6 new signings, you'd still be able to pick the team. And that's worrying for me. That's really worrying.
I think, yes, great point, actually, because I you know, let's just do that, shall we, for a bit of fun, right? Let's pick the starting 11 against Man United, right? Now, I'm going to go, I'll give you mine. I'll give you mine. It's going to be Raya.
Yeah.
It'll be Rice, Odegaard. We know that, guaranteed. Who else in that midfield? Well, we know it's going to be Saka. We know that. We fucking know that. It's going to be Havertz.
Yeah.
The back four writes itself. It's going to be Timber, Saliba.
Yeah.
Gabriel if fit. Skelly. Could be. Would he start in Wary?
And Zubamendi would be in the holding midfield.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, he won't get anywhere near the team next season. He won't get anywhere near the team next season. It'll be Zubamendi. It'll be Zubamendi and it'll be Rice. The only one I don't know is the left. I don't know if Madueke will start there or not. That's it.
Have you look? What have you seen of Zubamendi so far? Are you impressed at all?
He's a good player, Jez, with the ball. No, he's a good player with the ball. He does some nice passing, but when he gets pressured, he's not great. And everybody's saying, "Oh, look at these passes he played in pre-season. Look at this ball he played. Look at he's controlling the play." Yeah, there's no one closing him down. He got closed down against United in the Europa League last season by Casemiro, whose legs are gone several times, and he's going to get swamped in the first few games of the season. The second he gets the ball, he's going to make mistakes. I think he's good enough to eventually adapt to the Premier League, and he might even thrive. Then he might like that they're coming in fast. If he can spin them, then he's got even more space. But we don't have time for that. He's getting thrown straight into the deep end. And when Rodri came to City, who is considered the best defensive midfielder in the world, he was shaky at the start. So, but he had Fernandinho and these players around him. And when Pep felt that Rodri was making a few too many mistakes, he was able to pull him out for a game or two and put Fernandinho back in and edge him in. This guy's going to be our starting six on his own in a league where you get high pressed. And we have Newcastle and Liverpool in the first 6 games of the season, and United, in fact, who are all unbelievable at high press. So I can see him making mistakes in the early games. The pressure, it's how he can deal with it then, because this manager will just leave him out to dry. He won't pull him out after a couple of games if he's not playing well and put someone else in. Number one, he has no one else. So who's going to put in Norgard? So, I mean, I do worry for him. I think he's a very, very good player, but he needs someone beside him, you see. He needs a player beside him that will do the running for him, that will do the tackling for him, and that will win the ball back, and then he can take it and find his pass. And he won't have that. He'll be shown tapes of Thomas Partey and told, please go out and do that. And he's not the same type of player. Just like Gyökeres will be told, do what Havertz does. And he's not the same type of player. So yeah, I just think it's going to be a shit show from where it go. But the only position that I won't be able to pick for the first game of the season is left wing. I don't know if who will be still here, if Martinelli will still be here, if Trossard will still be here, and if Madueke's fit, then I can see him starting, because that's where he wants to play him. And if he starts him out the left and Havertz up front, we may as well write off the first game.
I mean, I think you and I think most of the chat actually probably picked exactly pretty much the team we've just said, because this is what he will do. He'll go with his favourites, right? Because that's what he is. He's a stubborn, arrogant prick. Surely, at the end of the day, we need to mix it up. But personally, if you want my honest opinion, I would start against Man United, I beg your pardon. I'd go 4-4-2, because at the end of the day, we can't afford to have that midfield overrun. As JK says, why doesn't he play Saka on the left? He has done. Yep. He has done. But again, we saw that he went down with I think he got a dead leg in that game. Don't want to see that. Can't afford that sort of shit going on. David says, Jez, what would the fans do back in the day at Highbury if Mick Arteta tried to play like this boring football? Well, it's a different time then, mate. Different time. You got to remember, under George Graham, it wasn't pretty football, but we were winning. That's the difference. The difference back then at Highbury was the fact that it wasn't great football, but we were winning trophies. If you look at what he won in his 7 trophies in 9 years, right? What have we seen under this boring arsewipe? Nothing. And so fans accepted it. Yeah, there was times, right, when there was fans booing the team, because that's how it was back then. But they were real fans, right? That's the difference. And I'm not going to get into the fact of how it is now, but it's a different game now. Football has changed so much, and it's changed, Shane. I think you'd agree with me. Since social media, it's a different 100%. World of football now. And the club's changed, because the club now, it's a franchise of whatever you want to call it, mate. You've seen the changes in your lifetime of Arsenal back then and Arsenal now. It's a totally different thing. Now, the fact, Shane, I mean, the fact that more fans support the manager than they support the club, I find that a bit of an odd thing, man. Because I said the other night, last week, I think it was, or whenever it was, I can't remember. Right, the club will always be here. Managers come and go. Now, I'd be fascinated, Shane, and I'll throw this question at you, right? When this manager does go, and he will go, there will come a day when he will go. What the hell are all these Arteta sexuals going to do? All these channels out there, right? that give it all the big large about how good a manager he is. But what, they're going to leave supporting Arsenal? Shane, are they going to do that?
Who knows? Who knows? The likes of Tom Canton and Semiu are dreading the day he goes. They're more so dreading the next manager being successful or Arsenal being successful, because if Arsenal start winning again, their channels become obsolete because they're only there for weak-minded people who need to be told that everything's okay all the time. So just like people in life nowadays, they need to be told 5 times a day that nothing's their fault, that, oh, your kids are brats, it's not your fault, that there's this wrong with them, nothing's your fault, you know, you're lazy, it's not your fault. So they it's the same bleeds into football then. So you get these fans that we sign Mad Wakey, who's an absolute joke, and they go, what are we doing here? But they'll go on these channels and they'll find ways to say that he's good. They'll say, oh, well, he does this well and he does that well. And they'll go, oh, phew, thank God for that. I can go about my day now. I was told it was good. So these Semius and Cantons who get access and whatever they get for licking this guy's arse, they'll do whatever for the club. But there will be a small section of them that will go with him, I think. And the thing is, just, you know, we're talking about real fans, and like we both know our idea of a real fan, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be going to the games every week. It's how it makes you feel, and it's how you view the club, you know. And you've seen it when you're on panels with these guys, these Christians and stuff. A lot of the time when they're referring to the club, they refer to the manager. You know what I mean? They talk about the manager like he's the club. They don't even realize they're doing that half the time. You know, and I was on that stream with you when you pointed out the crest and said, this is what I support. And that's been forgotten. And it doesn't happen with other clubs. Like, it is modern football, has a lot to do with it, but we're the worst for it by a country mile. We're the worst for it. And it's not just the fact that we're a tourist club. It's the so-called, a big core of the season ticket holders are behind this guy. A big core of people my age and your age and older are behind this guy. So it's not just the kids that have been tricked. There's grown men and women that have fallen for this spiel. Not so much women, funnily enough. I find that the female supporters see right through them. They see right through them. I think the ladies know a narcissist when they see one. You know what I mean? But the thing is, he is more supported than the club, and it's crazy because I've never seen a manager this protected for any team. But his day will come, like you said. And the funny thing is, right, that these fans that adore him and that think the sun shines out his arse and say that he's going to go on when he leaves here and win Champions Leagues and all that, I hope that they know that for a person like Mikel Arteta, for a man like him, the day he walks out of that stadium for the last time, he'll forget about the club like that. He'll forget about the players. He'll forget about the fans. It's all about him. He'll move on. It's whatever comes next in his life. He's the main character. So all these people that have backed him like crazy, he doesn't give a shit about them. He doesn't care about them. And that's the ironic thing, that all these people are so die hard for him. And he's exactly like a cult leader. He'll walk them all off a cliff if it means that if he falls off, that there's a less of a bang when he hits the ground. And that's what he'll do. He will not care about these fans. He won't care about the people that put up for him. He'll just walk away and move on. But that's the funny thing about it. The people that are backing him can't see it because the guy's a narcissist. But yeah, to answer your point, I just don't see why he's so followed. I don't understand it. But, you know, it is the way it is. And the stadium will turn quick enough next season, I think. I think the stadium will turn quick enough next season. We lose a couple. And for these fans going with him, most of them there's a lot of them that are fair weather fans that, you know, when they leave the ground after a loss, they're over it by the time they get out of the turnstile. You know what I mean? They're only there for the day out. But the fans that it really hurts, we're the ones that feel sick the next day, you know, where it bothers us the next day and it bothers us the day after. So I think they'll get over it very quickly. They'll get over it very quickly because it's a hobby to them. The club is a hobby to them, where to us it's life. And that's the big difference. That's why we want what's best.
I think that Tom Canton, I was on a show that he was on, and he said that he goes to the ground to meet up with his friends. And I said to him, well, what the fuck are you going to go down the pub then?
Yeah.
I thought you'd go to the ground to support the club, support your team, not to go and have a social, right? Yeah, fuck off down the pub then, right? Because at the end of the day, when I go to the ground, when I used to go to the ground, I didn't go to, well, you know, I used to go to support my club. And the second part of that was to meet people after the game or before the game down the pub. It wasn't go for a social at the ground. That's
Yeah.
bullshit, man. That's bullshit. And these are the sort of people we're dealing with here. As Richard says, I'm a City fan. I hope you give Arteta a 10-year contract. Thanks, Richard. Thanks for that, mate. Another 10 years of depression in my lifetime, fella. Thank you for that. I hope it's lovely in Texas, but thank you for that, mate. Right, let's do a prediction here. Let's do a prediction here before we wrap it up. Shane? Right. I'm going to ask you this, right? Are we going to win the Premier League?
Are we going to win the Premier League?
Yeah, I thought we'd do a little prediction of what trophies and me. What you and me think we're going to win next season, right? So we start off, right? Do you think, as Chris, we did die when we left Highbury. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah.
So give me a prediction, mate. Do you think we win the Premier League?
No, I still have us for fifth, Jez. Unless if he goes at some point in the season, I think we'll scrape fourth after the damage he's done. But I've said fifth before the transfer window. I've said fifth after it. I see Chelsea ahead of us. I see Liverpool ahead of us and City ahead of us. And this is a mix of them improving and us falling apart. I think we're weaker than we were last season. I think we're weaker than the season before. And I think we've been found out. That's the most important thing. It doesn't matter what players we get. Our system's being found out. And he doesn't have a second one. So no, I have not even a hope of us winning the league. Not even a hope.
Fair enough. I agree. I don't think we'll win the Premier League. My prediction of finishing will be in fifth. And the reason I say that is because I don't think we have the team, the squad, unfortunately, and this manager is going to get sussed out big time this season. Now, next one, right? Richard says, yeah, the Emirates put Arsenal fight behind financially, and they fell behind the other teams. Fact. Fact. Now, Champions League, my friend. Do you think we can win the Champions League?
No, not a hope. Not a hope. I think we were mutton dressed as lamb getting to the semis last year. We had a easy enough run. We had a fail in Madrid. I thought Madrid would beat us, to be fair, but I didn't realise how much they had fallen apart. As soon as we met a good team, we're out. I think we'll get out of the group stage. It's quite easy to get out of it now. Although PSG only scraped it, but you can lose 3 games and still get through, Jez. You know what I mean? So I think we'll get out of the league phase. But I think, again, it depends who we meet. And as soon as we meet a good team, i.e. any of the English teams ahead of us, the Chelsea's, City, Liverpool, PSG, Inter, Bayern, Madrid, Atletico Madrid, anyone like that will go out. So I'd say quarterfinals. Depending on who we get drawn against, I think quarterfinals, maybe second round. And then, I don't think. There's no way we're winning the Champions League. Absolutely no way.
No. I think that got proven this season, mate.
Yeah,
we got the big gig, and then it all fell apart. We got taken apart by
a proper team,
far better team. As Ali D says, we're winning FL once again, Jez. Yeah, right. Okay, domestic trophies. Let's get into the domestic trophies, Shane. Right, let's start off with that League Cup. Right, now last year we got to the semi-final against Newcastle, right? Couldn't score a goal against them. Got home and away, 2-0, lost 4-0 on Ag. Shocking, really, isn't it? Shocking. What do you reckon we're doing in the League Cup this season?
Again, like the Champions League, it depends on the draw. Again, we had a really easy draw in that right up until we played a good team, and then we went out. And that Newcastle game, both legs were an absolute disgrace. They were an absolute disgrace. And to come out blaming the ball, that was when he said, oh, the ball's different. It was clever doing that. That's a political thing where you say something outrageous and then all the media just concentrates on the outrageous thing that you said and don't concentrate on the fact that we got dog walked. But the home game, we got bullied. And the away game, we had 1 shot on target, which had happened twice in a row before that at St. James's Park as well. 1 shot on target, both games. So 3 games in a row, 1 shot on target. So the League Cup to me depends on, again, who we draw. If we were to draw, one of the top sort of 6 teams away from home early, we'll go out. So we won't get past. If we do fluke our way to the semi-final, we'll go out again because it's a semi-final. I repeat myself, 1 goal in 7 semi-final matches. He can't handle pressure. So the furthest we'll get is the semi-final. But again, it depends on how lucky he is with the draw.
True. And I'll just go for some of these chats, man, because very, 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 very good comments in here. Is David C. My predictions Arteta loses the locker by December. And there was a comment, actually, before we get into the FA Cup prediction, Shane, somebody made a comment way back. It stuck in my head. That, do you think Arteta's lost the locker room, changing room, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he's lost it in terms of he's running it through fear. He's running it through fear now. There's no respect. I think he's running it through fear. I think he signed so many spineless players that the odds of the dressing room turning are very slim. You know, when dressing rooms used to turn, or when they do turn in modern day even, you have characters like Tony Adams and Paul Merson and Ian Wright to turn the dressing room. You know, Ian Wright put in a transfer request, and that was the last straw for Bruce Rioch. You know, that was it. Then they had to think about it, because Adams and stuff had gone to David Dean and said, look, we this lad's too regimented. He doesn't suit the way we play. So for it to turn fully, you need ballsy players. I could see someone like Saliba if he got the wind up him doing it. I think Gabriel is one of those players that will be loyal to the manager. He'd be like a lieutenant in the war who'll be still in the dugout with him right until the end. I wonder how many of them have been turned to follow him. But I think he's running it through fear. But I do think it's turned in the sense of they don't respect him anymore. They're just afraid to get the way he'll treat them. But with the likes of Gyökeres coming in, that could change. That could change, because he seems like the type that will stand up to this guy. And like a lot of people that are sort of on the fence of being brave, if one guy does it, you know what, now I'll get behind him now. Oh, someone's done it. It takes someone to do it first.
Aubameyang did it. Look what happened.
Yeah, but I don't think he has that power left anymore, Jez. He can't go tossing Gyökeres on the fire now. Berta won't be having that. Berta signed him, and if you look at and Kenny Ken pointed this out. If you look at the Gyökeres interviews, he talks about Berta all the time. Gyökeres is talking about, I had this talk with Andrea. I had this talk with Andrea. He knows, right? Gyökeres knows that Arteta didn't want him. He knows he wanted Sesko, and I wouldn't be surprised if and Matty said this. I wouldn't be surprised if Berta had a little word in his ear, going, "Look, he probably won't be here for too much longer. Don't worry about it." But it will take a lot of them to turn. But I definitely think that they're not happy with him. The Timber interview about the injuries, they see all their mates dropping like flies. And getting played on injuries and stuff like that. So, you know, any dressing room can turn. Any manager can be gotten out if the whole dressing room turns. And I do think it will happen. It'll just take a bit longer than it normally does, because there's also players.
It's going to take the fans to turn as well.
Yeah. And that's going to be tough for AFTV and the like out there. Sadly, it's not like it used to be, Jez.
We're never going to get rid of that load of scrubs.
No.
But big up Devon, man. I love this channel. Real proper gunners, keeping it real. Third place for me this year after yesterday's shit show. It'll be the same old. Yeah, facts, man. Facts. Let's go through some of these comments, man. Richard says, hell no, Jay. Real. Yeah, big up, man. Richard Pilafer. That would be a hilarious cut to Arteta's achievements, but there's no way we finish that high. True. Andrew J 54, big up, man. Great, agreed, Jez. Best we can hope for. Yeah, big up, Andrew, man. Been here from day one. Joseph, J Real One, go to Emirates buddy at times. Ali D, Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool finish above us. Probably scrape fourth. I'm predicting fifth, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Big up Dale, mate. Fourth. Chelsea, United, Spurs will all improved.
Yeah, I have.
I've been saying that, man. When is Matty coming back online? He's busy, very, very busy at the moment. He was hopefully going to join today, but unfortunately he was busy boy. JB's Jibs, thank you, mate, for your super chat. Jess and Shane, it's been 5 years ago today, 1,826 days and counting since Arsenal's last trophy. Since then, you both started your YouTube. In your opinion, what will it take to sack Mikel Arteta? Now, that's a question, isn't it? That's the question. I think I'm going to give you my opinion. It's going to be abject failure.
Yeah.
Um, the fan base will turn eventually, and he will have to go. Shane, what do you think? Answer that question. Great question, mate. Great. Thank you for your
Yeah,
super.
great question. Great question. Same as you, Jez. I mean, me and Taryn BBK, big up BBK, did a show when we had to come up with 5 reasons each through the past that he could have been sacked for, and we had to trim the list down. We had so many times he could have been sacked, and we were about at the end of it saying, what's left for him to get sacked? And it has to be abject failure, it has to be miss out on the Champions League, or look like we're going to miss out on it, as in be 6 points off the Champions League spots at Christmas, and then they'll worry about their pockets, and that will also turn a lot of the fans. But yeah, I'm with you. It has to be total failure, which I think is coming anyway. So, but it has to be total failure.
Totally agree, man. A big up to Richard, Man City fan. Big up to you, man. Good luck for the season. I think you lot are going to be a massive problem for us this season. Thank you for your super chat. Love watching you all. Have a great weekend, my friends. Big up to you, mate. Have a great time in Texas, where you are from. I've been to Texas. Lovely place, lovely people. Great time. Had a great time there. So, Shane, go through some of these chats. I'm going to give you my prediction on the FA Cup. Okay. It'll be capitulation. I will say to you right now, we won't get past the 4th round.
Yeah, I agree. Sure, he only has once in his first season. He's only got to the 4th round twice. And the other times he's gone out in the 3rd round. So yeah, we'll go out in the 4th round. Unless we got a Preston in the 3rd round and a Leighton Orient in the 4th round. But as soon as we meet a Premier League team and that, we're gone, because he bins it off. He doesn't care about it. And yeah, 4th round at best. Because again, people say, "Oh, you're being negative, Jez." But what have we got to show? Why would we go against? This is the odds. He's gone 3rd round, 4th round, 4th round, 3rd round, or it's on 3rd round, 4th round. But he hasn't got past the 4th round since he won it. So, I mean, we're only going by his previous record. So, yeah, 4th round if we're lucky, 3rd round most probably.
True. And it breaks my heart. I love the FA Cup. And the thing is, Shane, right? This club, right, has won the FA Cup more times than any other club. Sorry. And we've been in more finals and more semi-finals than any other club. We're synonymous with the FA Cup. But this man, right, and bear in mind, right, it's the only trophy he's ever won.
Yeah.
Right, throws it in the bin every year. So what we doing here? Football chat says, "Big up, lads. Love your take. We are not a serious club. Arteta and his owners are happy with top 4 and the money. That's it." Well, sadly, my friend, I think you're very right. I'm just going to do all these chats, and I'll come back to Shane to get his take on what I just said. JK, seeing the same player now managed being sent off in the Champions League that nearly knocked us out. Big BFG was as slow as a wet week in that game. Fair play, mate. J Real one, mate. I think the players are doubting his tactics. I think they've been doubting it for a while, mate. I honestly do. I really do. I think it's going to come. It's going to come a time. Dow says we would struggle with Bournemouth and United, cruise past them, to be honest. If Ruben gets cooking, it'll be peak. Yeah. Big up, Nelson, my friend. Good evening, Jez, lad. How you, fella? I'm good, mate. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing very well indeed, my friend. Oregon Goon, Ali D, the gift that keeps up and giving, mate. What's Nelson saying here? No one is above the manager. Simple. I think that's not quite right, mate.
The board are.
I think the fans are. Arteta, Nelson says Arteta has all the power, Shane. Yeah, I don't think so at the end of the day, but
he's an employee. He can't.
We'll move it on. As Bjorn, big up to you, my friend. Arteta ran out of juice long time ago. He's finished.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, I agree with that comment, mate. Nelson says it's been 6 years. It's not happening anytime soon, Shane. Well, okay, so you're accepting abject failure. Well, thing is, Nelson, in life, right? You have to have ambition. If you don't have ambition, you will always fail. So if you haven't got ambition, my friend, then you'll never achieve anything. Fact. I
Facts.
know that. I know that from running a business. But anyway,
Hmm.
um, let's round this up shortly. Um, but at the end of the day, yeah, I've got the super chats, man. I've got them. Thank you. Um, FA Cup is going to be a disappointment, isn't it?
Hmm.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We,
Yeah.
we said that, and I just think it really hurts, to be honest, because this club, I just don't get it, Shane. Look, I don't get it, man. Surely, if you're an owner of this football club, right? Yeah, and you've won it the most amount of times than any other club, right? Then surely you'd say to your manager, as directors, owners, whatever you are, I want that FA Cup.
Hmm.
I want that FA Cup. I don't want anybody equaling us in winning that FA Cup. But I find it shameful, mate. I find it shameful that this club doesn't seem to want to achieve that greatness. 14 FA Cups we've won, right? I think it's Man United are one behind us, I think,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? And yet this club doesn't seem to want to achieve greatness again. I don't get it, mate. I don't get it. What is happening here, my friend?
I think what you said there about, it's the one thing he's won. Why isn't he going for it? I think that's why he's not, because he's won it. I think he'll look at it and go, well, I don't want to win another FA Cup, because people say, oh, he's only won the FA Cup. If I win the league, then they say, oh, well, I won the league and the FA Cup. So I think it's because he's won it. He just doesn't care about it anymore. People say there's no way he'd intentionally bin it off. Well, look at the record. Look at the record in it. It's a disgrace. And his famous Dubai trip, where he gets to go to Dubai and it worked last time. It didn't work at all. We didn't win the league. And last season was a disaster. Havertz snapped his hamstring, grade 3 hamstring, out for the rest of the season. So I think he just bins it off for either the Christmas break or just because he's won it. He doesn't care anymore. Doesn't care about it. That's what he's like. If you could turn around to him and say, if God came out and said, look, you can win it next year and the season will go the same, of course he'd take it. Then he'd go, yeah, fine. Well, I'm not saying like that he hates the thing. I'm just saying that it's just a hindrance to him. It's bin it off. It gets in the way. I'll put a weak team out, and if we win, we win. Fine. If we don't, we don't. I don't really care. And that bleeds through into the players, man. George Graham would have got a squad that was, and fans, Wenger even more so. But the guy won it 7 times, so he would have got the team going because he knew how much it meant. So even if the team was on their last legs coming up to the Christmas period and they weren't really feeling it, his enthusiasm will get them up for it. You named off the first team during the unbeaten season that smashed Middlesbrough in the League Cup. There was players that ended up not even making it as players, Jez, in that team, and they smashed Middlesbrough 4-1. You know what I mean? Because Wenger was able to get them going because he was a motivator and he knew what cups meant, and most importantly, he knew what it meant to the fans. So he wanted to keep the fans happy. And at the end of the day, the crux of a manager's job is to keep the fans happy. That's the main part of their job. Keep the fans happy. Not these fans that are hyper positive and they're easy to trick. It's not talking about tricking them, but keep them happy and get winning trophies keeps them happy. But we're not demanding to win the league every year. We're just saying in the last 6 years, with nearly $1 billion spent, that we should have won at least an FA Cup, a League Cup maybe, and at least one league. You know what I mean? We're not greedy. We just want to see that every year that we're in it with a chance of winning something. This whole thing that we're competing, that doesn't fly with me when it's 3 or 4 years of not winning. You're not competing then. It was like this whole Liverpool City thing before when they say, oh yeah, they're massive rivals. And I used to go, okay, in a sense they are, but when City have won 6 of the 7 leagues, that's not really a rivalry. That's just a domination by one team. Yes, Liverpool were battling it out with them and they finished a point off and all that. But to me, I suppose if we can consider it a rivalry, but City were the ones winning everything. So when I look at this manager, I go, he only cares about the 2 big ones for his reputation. You know what I mean? So he can say, well, I've won this, I've won that. And he'd much prefer to do it without a striker or with players that he made great, that he signed from Chelsea and stuff like that. But, I don't think that he's past it now. He's won it once. He doesn't care anymore. And if people are saying, "Oh, well, that's a ridiculous thing to say," just look at our record in it since chess. That's all you have to look at. There's no way that's luck. That's not luck that we've only gotten past the third round twice in 5 years. That's a man who doesn't care about a competition, and it's a disgrace because when you think of the FA Cup, you think of Arsenal. You think of Arsenal when you think of the FA Cup, and you go, "That's Arsenal's trophy." That's what we're synonymous with, is walking out onto that Wembley pitch and playing in FA Cup finals. And he's taking that away because he doesn't give a shit. And that it really gets to me, Jez. I know it gets to you, but it cuts me right up, man. The FA Cup is what we're all about. And it's not even the fact that we're not doing great in it. It's because he's binned it off. He doesn't care. And that's, for me, that's unforgivable for me.
It breaks my heart. I did a show last year, whenever it was, about all my FA Cup programs, all the finals I've been to, and it's like we just disrespect it now. But David Bate. I saw a football movie from the 90s recently, and the way the FA Cup was treated and talked about really put it into proper perspective. I didn't know it was that big a cup, mate. When the FA Cup is streamed, it's streamed all around the world.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a classic comment. I remember I've said this many, 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 many times, Shane. When there was an interview with Pele, one of the greatest footballers ever, and he was playing, I think it was the New York, whatever they're called.
Cosmos.
And he said, "That's it." And this interviewer said to him, "You've won just about everything in football." He said, "No, I haven't won an FA Cup."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now that says it all. That says it all. The Pele, one of the
Maradona said it as well, Jez. Maradona said his big regret was not playing an FA Cup final.
Yeah, I mean it and this guy actually throws it in the bin.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, David, you asked me a question privately about about hooligan films. I'm not really into them because most of them are a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
But the film, The Firm's pretty decent.
The original one, Jez, it was remade into a zesty modern day one. It was terrible.
Say again, mate.
The original The Firm, it was remade in about 10 years ago, and it was terrible. The original one was brilliant. You're talking about the original one from the 80s, are you?
Yeah.
No, just it was remade into a zesty remake, or so he gets the right one.
Most of the other ones are a load of bollocks. Cass is a very good film because it actually has Cass in it, and it is actually true to life. What happened in that film is pretty much true to life. Green Street Elite is a load of bollocks, to be honest. It wasn't like that. And so, but The Firm and Cass are probably the two most lifelike films of that, if you want my honest opinion. But we're going to wrap it up, mate. It's been a decent chat. Gunnar Farzad, mate, big up, man. Hope you're well. Always here. Big up, fella. Shane, shout yourself out. What's coming up? What's going down?
Yeah, I'm Shane Gooner. I'll be having the full Irish, obviously, tomorrow, 10:30. And then on Monday, I have Kenny Ken on for his picking his all-time 11. And then the following Monday, I have the legend himself beside me. I have Jezza on to pick his all-time Arsenal 11. And then Sunday, I will have the weekend roast. But yeah, the main one is just the full Irish breakfast every morning at 10:30. But also, Jez, thanks for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure coming on. Always a pleasure. And big up to the legendary chat. And I had a really good time, and I can't wait for Monday week when you come on to try and pick your Arsenal all-time 11. It's not as easy as you think. It's not as easy as you think when you start looking at some of the legends we've had. It gets very tough when you start getting the left wing and stuff like that. You're like, oh.
Do you know when you sent me that link? That comment invitation yesterday, right? I've already gone through mine. I've already done it. Maybe a few surprises in there, to be honest. For your chat when we do it. Maybe because I'm older, but it'll be a good one. A week Monday. I'll be looking forward to Kenny's one on Monday night on that one. So big up, man. Thank you for coming on tonight, as always.
No problem.
And enjoyed it, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the chat. We've had a bit of a diverse one, bit of a chat around and everything like that. But we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for everybody for joining, and big up Shay. Big up to you, my friend. Absolute real gooner. And we'll take care, everybody. We're out of here. See you all later.